What is up, everybody? Today, trade cap for June 29th, 2026. In Tech, we're going to trade on Tesla. And in this video, I'm pretty much going over, right, what the market did today and what opportunities there were, right? This trade, absolutely insane trade, right? Tesla, this entire day, is going straight up, right? So, a bunch of opportunities today to make money. Today was an easy day. Today is an easy day, very obviously, right? And we'll talk about it. So, straight into the video. So, let me pretty much pull up the alerts and pretty much talk to you guys about the pre-market game plan and what I was thinking of coming into this market open, right? That's very important. So, yeah. Let me do this. So yeah, so 828 QQ spot opening near our previous high level. So you want to see us hold here 760 on QQ and previous high on SPY to look for longs on tech. Nothing's really standing out on tech besides Microsoft, so that'll be main watch. If you end up coming back into previous day's range on indices, then it'll be likely be a slow, no news money for tech. Microsoft above 30 on watch. So guys, I always preach this, right? If you watch my weekly outlooks, right, you watch my trade caps, guys, price action is more important than higher time frame, right? Because you can have a bullish higher time frame, but we can still chop, right? So price action is gonna be the most important thing, and that's why I said nothing is standing out besides Microsoft, right? And if you guys watch the weekly outlook, I said, you know, we're gonna have to wait for price action to see which names show strength and weakness. And clearly, there's obvious names that are showing strength and names that are showing weakness, right? We can clearly see a clear kind of discrepancy, right? Look at Tesla relative strength. They're not even relative strength, actually relative strength, but it also is with the markets. And look at Microsoft relative weakness. So we clearly can see there are opportunities on both sides today. So today is a day you should not really be red on, and right, doesn't really make sense because the Tesla literally just went straight up. So you know, but yeah, what's QQ SPY doing as well, right? I can check on this chart. Right, QQ SPY now actually bouncing off this area higher time frame order block very nicely. QQ as well, very nice price action as well. So you know that is what you want to see. Hopefully this momentum continues over, right? Tesla now bouncing off very strong, so this name showing that strong momentum, reclaim that 400 key level, so we can keep it out on this name for this week. Otherwise, right, let me go to the alerts, right? Otherwise, very straightforward today, right? 844 Tesla 392.5 calls on watch, same time, right? In Tesla calls 845, this is moving fast, right? All right, 30% in 1 minute, 0 days contracts is moving crazy. 393 next scales, 60%, 8%, 9%, right? This just went straight up, right? Insane move. QQ SPY dropping. I'll cut it if you don't show off the strength because I'm trading 0 day contracts. I need to manage my risk, right? I don't have the luxury of holding trailers unless I have a very, very big position, right? But in this case, I actually didn't actually size down for this trade, right? If I was on normal sizing on this trade, this would be like a 5K day within 2-3 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, but I sized down because of just last week was tougher for me, and so yeah, I mean, I guess it did bite me in the ass, but it is what it is, right? But insane move. QQ SPY dropping. I'll cut it if you don't show relative strength. And then 855 out Tesla trails because we just end up coming back down here, and QQ SPY ended up breaking below pre-market high and also for our main chart. So QQ SPY actually broke market structure, and that is what made me end up cutting Tesla, right? Just because I know Tesla can show relative strength, right? But I'm trading 0 day contracts and I need to be managing my risk like a pro. And because I did that, right, I think Tesla actually did end up holding very nicely, moving to the upside, right? Which, you know, it is what it is, right? But I would have to sit through this kind of, you know, chop, and then would I have taken scales at high day here, and then, you know, I pop my, like it could have gone stopped out here. But again, so this setup around Tesla I'll talk about is kind of very straightforward, right? Guys, there are multiple entries on this name. Very, very bullish name, right? When we're making clear high highs, high lows, you should, and we're making it multiple times throughout the day, then there's no excuse for you not to be able to catch this up once, right? So the first entry, right? Break and retest of this pre-market high, very nice bullish price action. I was actually watching this, right? But promise, it's a little bit lower probability or lower win rate because we're still within the first 10 minutes of market open. You know, we don't really know too much information yet. We're not above our key levels, right? But once we're above our previous high level, right, we're showing clearly high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high. I want to be included into that momentum on that next leg up, right? I can have a very good risk to reward, and I just want to see us continue to the upside, right? And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the trade. And you guys can see, right, we end up coming back down here pretty much off this 390 where I entered off of, where my thesis was made off from. We actually end up coming back, retest that 390 plus VWAP, end up showing that nice move to the upside, and then consolidation, and then right, higher high consolidation, higher high consolidation, you know, just clear uptrend, right? This name, oof, trailers are easily up over 1000%, easily up over 1000%, probably even more. And yeah, I mean, very, 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 very nice day. Honestly, I should have held trailers looking back at it, but again, my position wasn't really that big. I don't know. I don't really know. Actually, it was. I still could have trailers, but yeah, I don't know, okay, guys. I don't know. It's really hard to kind of have trailers, right? Because like the market conditions we had last week were so trash. We were chopping around, and it was really didn't make sense to have trailers, right? But now, it's really kind of hard to just adapt out of nowhere. Have trailers, sometimes cut. I'm telling you guys, the most important thing is profit. Having profit, having a good risk reward is the most important thing, right? If I had trailers, right, a couple of contracts, I could have made extra $2,000 easily, $2,000, right? But Yeah, no, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, right? Our levels held beautifully. We end up sweeping liquidity off at that higher time frame level, and then 400 a key level is going to be next on this name, right? I think I had an alert, not an actual level, and then so yeah, I mean the level just worked out beautifully on this name, very beautiful. If you guys watched the weekly outlook, I talked about Tesla, right? And yeah, I'm surprised Microsoft actually ended up breaking down, right? This name, right? There's no really point of keeping on this name until we're above that 380 key level, right? So 380, we came at Microsoft, we never closed above this 380 level, right? There's a reason why, guys. I'm giving you guys these levels that we want to keep an eye out for, right? Microsoft above 380 on watch. We can't break above that higher time frame 380 level. They're not strong buyers. We don't look at that name, right? Also, price action is choppy. So there should be a very clear selection process of the names you're picking, right? You should be able to identify very, very quickly which names are showing relative strength, relative weakness, and which names are chopped. And those names are chopped, you don't look at and you just call it a day, right? You don't want to dwell over names that are chopping, keep kind of giving hope to those choppy names, right? And yeah, I mean that's pretty much the recap, right? Pretty straightforward day. Again, I wish I kind of had normal sizing. This would be a big day. This would be probably like a 5 to 8k in that range type of day, because we're literally up 9% within in 4 minutes. So yeah, I mean, you know, insane bounce on Tesla. Right now we have to change our game plan up on how we're gonna trade this, and I'll talk about it. I won't talk about it, but for the premium members, I'll kind of talk about it in the market open. Depends where we open, of course, but I'll talk about it if we open up bullish, right? But yeah, yeah, I mean, like tons of opportunities today on Tesla. Just rip straight upside, right? Plus 0-day expiration contracts. So these ones, insane, just insane move on these names, right? Insane moves, absolutely insane. And yeah, let's see what other names are doing. SpaceX, just following the market, no way about the strength. AMD now above that 540 area. So again, AMD just looking very bullish, right? We want to see AMD finally break above that consolidation break, right? This name, right? AMD extremely bullish on a higher time frame, but again, for us to kind of day trade this on options, we have to get at least above this 546, right? Because we're still technically in this chop, right? But this does technically look good for a swing. I'm not gonna lie. AMD first swing technically does look good, but I don't really like doing swings, even though the biggest winners are in swings, guys. The biggest P&L gains are going to come from swings, but their biggest losses are going to come from swings as well. So it really is just what your risk portfolio tolerance is, right? But it's really easy to identify these kind of swing trades, because when swing trades, it's a very easy kind of setups, right? You're playing with the trend, right? Clearly there's strong buyers defending a zone, right? We're clearly playing off this high low consolidation break to the all-time highs, right? So swinging, very straightforward, but again, you have to understand which market conditions we're in, and also if it does not work out, it's gonna be a bigger loss. But if it does work, right, the wins are very big as well, right? I'm talking about 400+% gain wins, but again, the losses are also very big, right? 80%, I mean, potentially very big losses, right? So it's kind of hard to kind of gauge a proper risk reward. But again, yeah, I should start doing swings again, honestly. Like there's some trades that I've been looking at, but I've actually taken, but I've been theorizing swings and they've played out very nicely. So I guess it just depends on the market conditions, right? But yeah, fuck are you lions? But yeah, that's pretty much the trade recap. I mean, pretty straightforward trade on Tesla, right? There are multiple entries on this name, multiple entries, right? There are entries off this pre-market high, buyers are here, entry off this reclaim of this previously high level, right? Again, this one would have been a little bit harder to kind of enter off of, to be honest, but again, it technically is still a break and retest, right, off this previously high level. The risk reward, if you entered, would have been literally at this candle open, stop loss below that previously high level, which is that pivot area bounce off of, and then whatever the key levels are on this name, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I literally dropped a lot of information, right? Again, guys, levels, relative strength, and good risk reward. That's literally all you need. That's literally all you need, by the way. We're not trying to do anything game breaking. We're not trying to find some secret technique, secret strategy. No, we're just finding are strong, above our levels, holding our levels, showing strong buyers, and we let the risk reward play out. Simple as that. Literally as simple as that, right? No course, no like 10-hour YouTube video will change that kind of truth, you know. And yeah, 9 minutes long. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, after 4 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You know, I'm in the video. Peace.